Oh, hey there, didn't see you guys. My name is Douglas Mantla, and today I'm going to enlighten you with the election of 1844. The election of 1844 was primarily a race between Henry Clay, who was a Whig, and James Polk, who was a Democrat. Polk had democratic ideals such as territorial expansionism. He supported the annexing of Texas, and he wanted to expand the boundary line in Oregon. He had support from Northern expansionists because they supported him in the issue of Oregon, and consequently he had support with Southern expansionists because they supported him in the issue of annexing Texas. Henry Clay, on the other hand, lost support in the North because he was a slave owner himself, and he also lost support from the South because he was not in favor of annexing Texas as a slave state. James Birney, who's the third candidate in the election, was also very important in this election because he cost Henry Clay the entire election. He won support of New York, and that's what cost Henry Clay the election, because if Henry Clay won support of New York and James Birney had not been in the presidential election, Clay would have won the election and James Polk would not have won the election. So, if James Birney had not run the election in 1844 and Henry Clay won the election over James Polk, many things in our history would have happened and things would not have happened also. Economically, the American system would have been implemented by Henry Clay. This would be a long-term effect because the American system simply can't be enforced over 1 or 2 years. It would take a lot longer than that, such as 5 or 6 years. Henry Clay would want to impose tariffs on foreign imported goods so that more Americans would buy American goods and the American economy would be stimulated. He would also support internal improvements such as building roads and canals. And he would also try to revive and reestablish a Bank of the United States for trade and commerce. Politically, there would also be some changes if Henry Clay would have won the election. For example, much land would not have been annexed by America. We would not have been involved in issues with Mexico, Texas would not have been annexed, and issues with California and Oregon would not have been present. Consequently, there would have been less social issues. Slavery in new territories would not have been present because new territories would not have been annexed, as Henry Clay did not support territorial expansionism. That means Wilmot Proviso would not have been created, and simply slavery in newly annexed lands would not have been there. This would be a short-term effect because this would simply happen a couple years right after Henry Clay would have been elected. The land simply would not have been annexed. Although the election of 1844 was really close between Henry Clay and James Polk, if Clay had won the election, the course of history would have been very different. Thank you very much, and this is the presentation on the election of 1844.